Magnum pieced together the scant information he had and concluded that a team affiliated with Haddad had kidnapped Green in an effort to identify the other members of the Black Ops unit. The remaining trio hoped that Green had kept their names a secret, but how sure could they be? It was determined that Captain Green's death in Episode 4 was a homicide. Waterboarding was his cause of death, and HPD was looking into it. But Magnum felt that wasn't enough. Magnum wished to look into it personally. He requested that Gordo bring him the murder case paperwork for Green. He knew going in that it was a big challenge. He only inquired about it because he at last understood the watch-related note that Green had left for him. The watch made reference to a task he completed with his friends. Green was the only person who knew the identities of the individuals involved in that mission, and he has since been killed. Magnum was concerned that he would be the next victim as a result. He wasn't receiving that file, which was the only issue. Gordo needed to rejoin HPD, but he couldn't put his job at danger once more by doing a favor for a friend. Even Magnum cannot. Gordo was unable to comprehend the watch notification. He declined Magnum because he believed he might be mistaken. He informed him he was unable to assist. Magnum made an effort to comprehend, but a fresh case distracted him from his issues. To find a missing CFO, Magnum and Juliet were recruited. Sandra Perez was her name. Sandra really didn't lead a private existence. She was a workaholic. She frequently arrived first and departed last. Afterward, she skipped a day of work. It was so uncharacteristic of her that when he needed Sandra, her business partner Jordan Hines employed private detectives to find her. They were attempting to prevent a corporate acquisition of the business. They were in the clean energy industry, and Sandra was fending off the wolves. Right up until her passing, Sandra was the only person who could save that business. Later, Juliet discovered Sandra's corpse in a trash can. Soon after her last day of work, Sandra was murdered. Sandra's crime had occurred. The person who sent Sandra a parcel on the day she passed away came to be suspected by Magnum and Juliet. They discovered that Sandra was trying to stop him from attempting a hostile acquisition of her business. The businessman gave her a job because she was so skilled at her position. She was to come work for him, he desired. On the day of her passing, he even sent over a lucrative contract, which Sandra took the time to destroy before declining. Sandra wished to continue working for the business. She was having an affair with her partner, Jordan, so she wanted to stay. Magnum and Juliet were made aware of the relationship. They also recalled Jordan's strong marriage and family life. After that, they went to Jordan's house and spoke with him privately about the relationship. Jordan asserts that it has been going on for a full year. Additionally, he claimed not to have killed her, and when they pressed him for an alibi, he dismissed them out of anger. That, he believed, would prevent them from investigating into Sandra's wrongful death. He had miscalculated them as well. Juliet and Magnum never give up on a case. They kept investigating Sandra's crime. When they found out that he had already made an arrest, they went to HPD HQ to inform Detective Childs about Jordan. The janitor was detained by the investigator. The janitor worked a little bit for Sandra because he was a handyman in his spare time. When Sandra passed away, he was legitimately owed money. The custodian had sent her several texts requesting payment, and he was present in the building the night she passed away. The cleaner and Juliet had a conversation. She and Magnum decided to work for the janitor because she didn't get the killer feeling from him. They entered secretly to see him. They questioned him about Sandra's death night. Although he claimed to be tuned in, he wasn't always present. Running back and forth, he was. The door was pushed open by him. Anyone could have accessed the space. The man overheard two ladies arguing as well. Magnum and Juliet assumed that Jordan's wife Nina had become agitated after finding out about the affair. She didn't give a damn about the romance, though. Jordan has been having multiple affairs with different ladies for many years. Of all of them, Sandra showed the most regard. Nina allowed Jordan to stay because she didn't anticipate him divorcing his wife or confronting her about their relationship. Sandra wasn't killed by Nina. Jordan, however, admitted to killing Sandra shortly after she spoke with Magnum and Juliet, even though it later turned out that he was also blameless. He did not murder her. Zoe, his adolescent daughter, murdered Sandra. Magnum and Juliet discovered proof that Zoe was insulted on her mother's behalf after finding out about the affair. They attempted to speak with Jordan. They pushed him to turn against his daughter, but he steadfastly refused. He accepted responsibility for this. He felt he was finally being the father Zoe deserved because nothing would make him change his opinion. Magnum and Juliet were powerless to prevent an innocent man from being sent to prison, but at least Jordan made this decision, and they decided to take the situation as it was. After all was said and done, Gordo gave Magnum the report on Green's assassination. Gordo pulled through for a friend, and if anything comes out about it, he will deny knowing anything about it. Ruthie, Rick's sister, came to the island to meet Joy. Ruthie also arrived with the intention of informing Rick of her engagement and the nature of her engagement. She is, in fact, homosexual. Years ago, she came out to everyone else, but it wasn't until now that she felt secure asking Rick to walk her to aisle. And instead of being offended, Rick chose to feel pleased that Ruthie still chose to ask him to accompany her down the aisle.